Hey fabulous doll people, I'm going to do my 2024 want list today. It is raining, which I'm kind of surprised by, but it is. I don't recall my phone telling me it was going to rain, so I feel a little bit of electronic betrayal. I have 3 days off. It turns out that even though I didn't start at my new job until October, I get the same amount of holiday pay or floating pay, I think they call it floating pay, as everybody else, which was pretty significant, and I had to use it up. So I took today off. I have the next 2 days off. I work Christmas and the day after Christmas. I have a couple more days off, and then I switch to another team. I have a new trainer, and so I will be working 5 days in a row, which I'm a little salty about it, which is kind of sad because I'm like, you used to always work 5 days in a row, but it's like now I don't, and I don't want to, and I'm honestly glad to be moving teams. I don't know that my current trainer's training style, my learning style, 100% mesh. Like, it's been fine, and I've learned a lot from her, but it's not super smooth, I guess, all the time. And so I'm ready, I think, to move, but I'm not ready to work 5 days in a row. And it's Christmas, and I didn't decorate because I was afraid the house might sell, and my daughter didn't come home, and my relationship is a whole problem right now, and I have had a hard couple of days, and I was home, and I'm stuck in the house, and I was like, ugh, I just don't want to be sitting around being unhappy all the time. And I thought, do something that you like with the dolls. And I do have a couple other doll things I'm going to do, but I thought, well, I'll make my 2024 want list. It's kind of a fun thing. I enjoy it. I think I've only done one, and every year I plan to do another one. But the one that I did was a pretty big success. One of the more difficult to find dolls I found, and it was absolutely because of the want list. So last year I was going to do one, and then last year I kind of went into last year like financially hopeful, and then it all, no. And so I was like, I'm not doing one. And then I wasn't going to do one for this year either. I didn't expect to start making significantly more money right at the beginning of this job, but I am. And I'm still in the hole. I'm in the hole with my bills, and I'm in the hole with my doll stuff. So if you were to like message me like right away and say, oh, I have one of these dolls on the list, know for sure that's a layaway. And probably a long one. Now, if it's summer when you message me, it might not be layaway at all. I plan in January to start putting money into a savings account for dolls that I want, so that whenever something comes up, I'm not scrambling or shorting myself on bills, which is what happens a lot. And then there's this huge, well, this doll you've been looking for forever. Are you going to get it? And then anyway, I just don't want to be like completely blindsided by purchases that I didn't 100% plan on. So it's not a super long list, and I'm not really going to do it like in order of who I want more or what. A few things to know. Probably I will need layaway. Like I said, you could hit me at a point where I've got enough amount of money in my not even started yet doll savings to where I won't, or I'll need a very brief one. Price-wise, I'm pretty open. One doll in particular, I really want. The secondhand prices have been very low. To me, I think they're very low. I would be willing to go over what I've been seeing. But I am very open on price. So, the worst I can say is no, right? The worst I can say is no. So if you have one of the dolls I'm looking for, and you don't really want to let it go unless it's a little bit more than maybe they've been going for, I mean, you can always message me and see. Certain things will influence price. So I paid a significantly higher amount for a doll recently because she was custom painted by a doll artist that I adore. That was my twiggling elf ingenue obsidian that I got from Sugar Glow Lights. So like if you have a doll that's been painted by an artist, it's one of my favorite artists. It's kind of like whenever I got my Day of the Dead doll that was painted by Sark. Like, I have like almost no interest in the doll itself. Not that there's anything wrong, she's a very cute doll. But it wasn't a company I ever had any great interest in. They had made a half elf doll 20 years ago when I first started that I really liked. And I'm completely drawing a blank on the company at all now. Anyway, But Sark is one of my favorite artists. Day of the Dead, painted dolls at my living room. You can't see, but all the art in my living room is Day of the Dead. It was like, I was just no way I could pass on that doll. It was so many things that I adored. But the doll itself wasn't a doll I particularly knew anything about or Limois. It was a Limois, and then she's become a different company. I don't think they're called Limois anymore. Anyway, it's a somewhat moot point to the story, which is the whole point, but it illustrates that if you have something that falls into one of my other interests within the hobby, like my favorite artist, a style of painting, I like Gothic, I like the sugar skull look, I like fantasy colored resin. So if whatever you have falls closer to that end, I'm absolutely willing to pay more money. I don't want to get reamed, like don't get me wrong, I don't want to pay through the roof. But if you have something that is really going to fall into an area that I'm going to really love, you probably could get significantly more out of me. Another thing to remember with that though is if we're going to go way high up on the price, I probably will need layaway, even if I have money stocked away. Another thing that I have to remind myself of, and so I'm going to remind you guys now, if you are in Great Britain, anywhere where the exchange rate is into euros, at least now, I don't know what it will be as this year progresses, I will want to pay less, or the exchange rate is unbelievably stupid right now, like shocking. I bought something recently and it cost me an extra, let's see, well, let's say with shipping, it was an extra, I want to say $70, which that's a lot. And that was just to exchange rate. Now, there's another European one, which is fine. It's pretty much anything except if it's going into pounds. It's pounds, not euros. Euros is fine. Pounds, I may not want to give you what you want for it. It's going to depend on the exchange rate. Still, ask, but the exchange rate right now for pounds is it's stupid, and it's painful. So, and I have a tendency to forget about it. Like I look at the price of the item and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then shipping's going to be higher. That's fine. But then when I go to do the exchange rate, like I'm like, I don't even have enough money now because I didn't realize it was going to be a third of the price in the exchange rate. And again, that could change. But just to put it out there, if you're in Great Britain, I might be a little bit more negotiaty about the price. Not that I'm saying I'm gonna say no or anything like that, but it just I probably won't be as free about it. I guess I'll have to think about it more. So, with all of that rambling having been said, yes, more coffee. I meant to write these dolls down so I'd have it in front of me, and I wouldn't ramble quite as much, but all the dogs are asleep, and I just thought, do something different right now, break up your day. And everything else was perfect. So I was like, we're just going to do it now. So I didn't write them down. So bear with me. Number one, which is very, very, very high on my list, is Dollstories Vampire Silk. I purchased one of these dolls 7 years ago, I think it's been now. And then the artist went under. And she did ask me, because she had told me that she was planning on getting her molds redone. She was paying for her molds to be redone. And this was the year COVID hit, because I remember we were going to go to Resin Rose, and she was planning to go, and I couldn't go, but then COVID hit. And I feel like I don't think it got canceled, but it got scaled significantly back. And I'm sure that impacted her. But after that, I never heard from her again. So I paid $1,000 for the doll. It was a gray one. And I love this doll. I can't convey to you how much when I saw this doll, I love the very unique sculpt. The body's beautiful. I happen to have a body, so this could be either a full doll or a head. I have her normal skin body, so if somebody has a normal skin head, I would just take the head. I actually would be open to just taking the head in any color because I can probably find a body to hybrid it on. This doll will go up significantly if you happen to have a gray. I don't think a lot of them were made, but I'm interested in anything that you have. I have seen these going on DOA for about $475, $550, which is to me a great price for them. I'm willing to pay you more. This is actually a doll that's very high up on my list. I have been looking since I came to the conclusion I was probably never going to get the one I paid for. So there's a very high girl on my list, this Dollstories Silk. Another doll that's pretty high on my list is the Pasha Pasha Beat Elf Sculpt. I will take a head on this. I would prefer full body. I would prefer blue blood. I am almost exclusively a blue blood collector, but I am open on this doll. I don't like. I don't know. My gut instinct is to say I only want her. Oh gosh, she has really unique resin names or colors or names for the colors of her resin. So my gut instinct is to say I only want blue or I only want her whitest colored one. But in reality, I could be open on this doll. I've been looking long enough now that I'm a little more open. And of course, I know what Pashas are worth, and it's a rare doll, and so, you know, you're probably not going to shock me on the price you want for the doll. And then I am looking for Doll in Mind. These are just heads that I'm looking for. I suppose I would take the whole body. I never liked her bodies. Her bodies are kind of like, I want to say it's Nanako or something. She has these very classic, beautiful sculpts that look like Roman or Greek sculptures. But again, she has that body that kind of reminds me of Masket Doll, also has the same body. It's a kind of teenagey looking body. It's not real mature, so I don't love it. So I'm probably going to hybrid these heads. But I'm looking for Vampire Marceline. There was two I missed. I'll put the other name here because I'm drawing a blank. There was two SD Vampire heads that I missed. I have, trying to blank on these ones too. Anyway, it's Marceline. I'll put the other name. But they were apparently not particularly common. Every time the artist from Doll in Mind opens up the vault, like he'll take so many orders of certain heads and redo them, I always throw these two into the hat or into the box, and they never get picked. So Doll in Mind's resin colors, I think there was something that was like normal skin and something that was like white skin, because my two heads are definitely different colored. I don't know how they were sold. I never found the website super easy to navigate. And I didn't learn about Doll in Mind until really close to the end of their functioning as a whole company. Sorry, I've got my simmer pot going, and for some reason, I guess because my stove is old, it's either not warm enough or it's too warm, so I just have to watch it, make sure it's not trying to boil over. Shouldn't be boiling at all, but... So there's those two girls, and then I am looking for a color theory. And I know what these dolls are going for. So, you know, it is what it is. I will take a head. At first I wouldn't take a head, but now I will take a head, and I will even take a faceplate because I heard that there is an artist making head backs that will match them. Yummy Sweet Doll's body looks incredibly cute with them. I'm pretty open to whatever you have. You have to be able to take layaway, though, if you're going to get that price. Like, even if I've saved up all year, I'm probably not going to have that sitting in my account. I really want a fantasy color. I really want the blue, and I really want the version 2 body, and I really want Erie over almond. I'm really only interested in Erie or almond. I'm not interested in the kind of cat one. So there's a lot of things that could go into what I'm willing to pay for one of these dolls. If you were to just message me out of the blue and you had every single thing I wanted ticked, then I'd probably be okay with paying a little bit more. Quite frankly, I find the price for them currently to be a little psycho as it is. So there's a lot of variables that would go into that. Another doll that I am looking for, and is the Twiggling Elf Ingenuise. I am open into all resin tones. I do want the full doll. I could possibly be interested in the head, but I really want the full doll. The bust was also only a part of this collab. The bust is different on the ingenues and the ingenuise. Please don't message me if you have an elf ingenue. I have two, and I will be tempted to buy her because I love her very much. But I really want the elf ingenuise. And if you message me and say, "Hey, I don't have an elf ingenuise, but I have an elf ingenue," I'm going to be tempted. So yeah. Yes, I'm looking for elf ingenues and hopefully not elf ingenue again. I love both of my elf ingenues. I love them so much. So anytime somebody says, "Well, I have an elf ingenue," this part of me is like, "But how many elf ingenues? Why do you have to have a limit?" You do. Also, I know these are expensive dolls. It's a big girl. She's a limited girl. I don't think there was a lot of them. And this is a doll that could very much be influenced by color, and does it have a nice face up? Are you an artist that has one and you're willing to change the face up for me? You know, things like that. And that's about it. So it's not, like I said, it's not a big list. There was a couple other small things that were kind of going around my head that I could put on here, but I don't think I'm quite ready to put feelers out for those yet. I really am trying to keep it to what's reasonable. Like the end of last year, I put out all these want lists on DOA, and then I had a bunch of them come up, and then I really couldn't afford all of them, and then it was just a huge bummer. And I don't want to do that to myself this year, so I thought just keep it simple. And a lot of the dolls that were on my want list before, you can now just order. Like ladies, everybody, doll people, all of you. It is going to be, it's going to be the year of, sorry, I keep getting messages. They're like totally blowing me off. Anyway, it's going to be the year that I get my Chimera doll. You can now order a Chimera doll if you don't mind not getting one of her gorgeous wigs or her gorgeous face-ups anytime. You can just go and get one, and which blows me away. I found this out the end of last year when I was not only was it just drowning in debt, but I just didn't see the end to it, because I was like, well, I'm just going to go get one right now. So it's been eating away at me while I'm trying to get out of the hole before I put a big ass expensive doll on layaway. Because I love her vampire so much. Really, a part of too, what holds me up with her is I can't pick a resin. She has, I think, 3 resin tones that I love, and all 3 of them, and there might even be 4, there might be another one. She has 2 different grays. She has a dark gray and a light gray. They're both gorgeous. Her white is gorgeous. I love a paper white doll. Like, I love a doll that's just so white, because my dolls aren't human. I don't really want them to look human. The only reason I have so many normal skin dolls in my collection, or pink skin or cream or whatever, the artist calls them, is because I buy a lot of secondhand dolls, and I am apparently in the minority, and most people want normal skin. And so when you're, perusing the secondhand market, there's more normal skin dolls for sale. So she has a blue, which is really pretty. So anyway, I'm having a very hard time picking a resin. Like, I wish I had the money. Even with extra money, I don't have enough money to get 2. I would love to get 2. And I may get 2 down the road. And her obsidian's gorgeous too. It's painful. It's painful. And she has a couple other sculpts that I like too. But honestly, because her vampire to me is like one of the best vampire sculpts, I don't see myself getting anything but her. Like multiples of her if I get more than one Chimera doll. Anyway, that's it. So it is the 21st. It is the winter solstice. Tonight will be the longest night of the year. Yay. I'm taking a sleeping pill because I'm not going to be up for that. And then the nights start to get shorter. The days start to get longer. That's great, because I hate when it gets dark so early. I have to feed my horses on my way home. I get off at 6. It's an hour drive home. And so I usually get out there about 6:30, and it's just like pitch black now. I mean, we've been blessed we've had one single snowstorm that was significant. One. And it was still melted within a couple days, because we have stayed consistent in the 40s. I feel like that's like a gift to me from God. He's like, everything else in your life's terrible, but you're doing this huge drive and your house didn't sell when you were hoping it was. You missed out on the house you wanted, and you got to do this drive, and so there's going to be a very mild winter for you. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great Christmas. I hope you're having a great Dolly Day. I hope you get everything that you want out of this year, and I hope next year is better for all of us, because God did 2023 kick my ass. Just kicked my ass and handed it to me, so. All right, you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.